Hi everyone, welcome. I think I'm live. Yes, I am. When you join me, please just say hello in the chat. I'll be looking out for your comments and just your participation. Welcome to the 5-day mind self-care and meditation challenge. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. We're starting today with the basics. We're going back to basics, back to where it all starts, the beginning. Hi Timmy, welcome. I'm just going to wait for other people while I'm doing the introductions. So today we are sticking to the basics. Like I said, what people don't realize is the three pillars I'll say for wellness is food, rest, and exercise, or should I say physical activity. But for this session, I'm going to focus on food, rest, and exercise. The body needs food, the body needs rest, the body needs exercise. The mind needs food, the mind needs rest, the mind needs exercise. Many people don't realize that. Now the spirit as well needs food, needs rest, and needs exercise. I am on a mission to help people eat well, live well, and feel well. And how we can achieve this is by doing these three things to cater to our whole being. You can't look after your body alone. You can't look after your mind alone. You cannot look after your spirit alone. So you could be the most spiritual person, but physically you are sort of struggling, and that's not God's best for you. So today I just want to focus on the mind, and like I said, I'm going back to basics. The first thing that God did after he made man was to breathe into him. He gave him air. Air goes into the body, gives oxygen, powers the circulatory system. Your body is working fine, and the doctors are like, yes, this person is alive. But that's the one thing a lot of people struggle with. And for example, you've got anxiety. One of the things you'd hear people say is breathe, because that's the one thing we forget. Our living beings, we start to struggle to breathe. And then the second thing as well that we forget to do is just to be calm. Some people think that introverts are people of silence, like, oh, she's very quiet. But introverts are actually really noisy. I consider myself an introvert. Well, my brain is busy, and I know a lot of people who they are introverts, but they have so many conversations in their minds. If you're an introvert and you can relate to that, can you just type yes? Like, people see you as a quiet person, but inside your mind you're not quiet. You have conversations with people a lot. I like to hear from you, and that's the truth. And yes, there will be times where you're silent, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily at peace. So today's session, oh yes, absolutely, 3 pillars: food, rest, and exercise. Today's session is to focus on the silence and the breathing, right? And I tell people, so when you go through difficult times, like really difficult times, like arguments and with people, even in labor or wherever you find yourself, the moment you stop breathing, you start to struggle. And yes, you're active in your mind. And when people find themselves in situations like that, they don't realize that actually I need to breathe. I maybe it's not prayer right now. Maybe I just need to breathe and let God breathe into me, because it's a spiritual thing to breathe, even though it's really physical. So there is breathing. And then the reason I mentioned silence, for those of you who have already gotten the meditation guide I made, I think everybody here would have gotten it, because I delivered it to those who registered anyway. And this guide, I talked about silence, and when there's a scripture I love so much, a Bible verse that says, be still and know that he is God. The thing is, people don't know what that means. You might think, oh, it just means be patient, but being still is a state of calm that nothing happening can challenge, nothing happening can shake. And that's a different level of wholeness. And many times you wouldn't get to that stage until you start from the very basic, which is starting from silence. And there are so many different stages of silence, because in the beginning you might be silent, but your mind might still be wandering everywhere. And this is not your typical meditation class where they tell you empty your mind. No, I'm not telling you to empty anything. I'm not telling you to be plain. I'm just saying be silent. So when you're silent in your bedroom, for example, you start hearing, maybe the sound of the laptop. Before you know it, you're hearing, like in my room now, and I can hear the laptop. And you might hear the if you're around your kitchen, you might start hearing the fridge sound. That's the kind of silence I mean, to start listening. So the silence is for listening, not to switch off from everything. And then before you know it, you start to listen to your inner body, yourself, your own body, and your voice. And before, there's something we call the body map. This is quite common in meditation practice, where people would sort of look through their body, and I do that with some of my clients, just from head to toe. Is a good way to relax before you go to bed, but just doing that body checking from your head to your toe, before you know it, you realize, oh my gosh, I feel a bit nervous around my tummy. I wonder why. That's you listening. That's what this silence is about. It's not about emptying your mind. It's about listening to what's happening within you. So when people say, oh, I struggle, I've not had clarity for ages, and they're reading so many books, going from one conference to another, praying, doing all sorts, all you just need to do is to be still and just be silent. And sometimes people get that moment in the bathroom. That's the only time, especially for a mom who's busy. Let me know if for your mom who's busy and some of your only silent time is when you're in the bathroom, because in the toilet the children still manage to come in. Can you tell me in the chat if you're someone like that, whose silent moment is probably in the bathroom? My silent moments used to be in the bathroom only, until I decided, no, I'm going to do something about it. I need to listen. I need to hear my body speak. I need to hear God speak. I need to hear when there are things happening inside of me. And when you tell people, I'm not that intuitive and I don't hear from God. Like, when last were you really silent for up to 15 minutes in silence? And it's not about worrying. It's not about overthinking anything, analyzing anything, but just being silent to listen. Is something you need to practice. So today we're going to crack on. I don't want to spend too much time. We have half an hour. They do follow into the bathroom depending on their age, but yeah, so I could share, there are so many hacks to getting these silent moments, but many times with the moments we tell ourselves, I need this silence, I need to listen. You'll be a better mother, you'll be a better partner, you'll be a better friend, you'll be a better entrepreneur if you are a better person in general if you're able to listen. We hear these things when you listen to a podcast, oh, you need to listen, people don't listen. And the moment you start practicing silence, it's also easier to listen to people. It's easier to be a better listener when you're communicating with people, because it's a form of exercise. Is a form of exercise for the mind, for the brain. You train your mind to be able to withhold whatever it's thinking and just listen. So even though you're silent to listen, is also a form of exercise. And then the breathing aspect of things is a form of rest. Is also a form of exercise, because when you're breathing intentionally, it's like, that's what makes exercise when you're doing something intentionally. We're always moving around, cleaning, but the moment you decide, okay, I'm going to do this movement, up, down, for like maybe 50 times, then it becomes exercise. It's like an intentional movement. So this is what breathing does. It helps your lungs to open up a bit more, and then it opens your heart out to God and say, God, I am breathing in this air that you gave me to be a living being from the beginning. And when you spiritualize it, breathing becomes much more important than so many things you might think about. The air that we breathe is from God. So we're going to use the next 10 minutes to practice some of the things I've just spoken about, which would be, we start with breathing. Okay, so wherever you are, get into a good position. You can sit down, you can lie down, whatever you want to do, but please, this is not a podcast. You're not to listen to me and just wash the dishes or clean, because I can't see you. What you need to do right now is please stop anything you're doing. No multitasking for this one, right? Let's practice it. It's just 10 minutes. Nothing is going to go wrong in 10 minutes. Like, you can still continue all you're doing in the next 10 minutes. So we're going to spend 5 minutes just breathing in and out, and I'm going to guide you, but I'll also let you lead yourself. So we'll start with breathing in once and out, and then after a while I'll probably tell you you can increase the pace. If you don't feel you need to, you stay put there, 1 and out. Then you can increase it to 2, breathe in twice, and then breathe out twice. It doesn't matter if you're breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth, whatever feels comfortable. I just want you to breathe intentionally, right? And then you can increase it. As the time goes by, you can keep increasing it. Before you know it, you might be doing 5 breaths in and 5 breaths out. If you feel like you're on 6, 7 and it's becoming difficult, you can go back again to 6 or 5, or you can hold it. So I'm going to guide you through it, but there's a time will come when I'll just be silent and just let you breathe. So it's 21:13 we're going to start, and that means we'll be finishing 21:17, right? That will be 5 minutes, isn't it? My maths is really great, as you can tell. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, there. Voila. So please, before we start, give me a sign in the chat that you're ready. So you can type ready or just put a thumbs up. I do not see anything. Okay, I'm not seeing anything, so I'm just going to crack on. So to start, you can keep your eyes open, keep your eyes closed, whatever you want to do. Yes, I see it ready. That's good. I just want you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, or just breathe in and out once. 1, in and out. If you feel like you need to hold it longer, just listen to your body, because that's what today's training is about. It's about listening and breathing. Lerato, you're here, I didn't even know. Welcome. Okay, so in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you do that, you just imagine that it's who is giving you that breath, who gives you that air. It's not random. It doesn't come from a random place. That's the first thing God did in the beginning. He gave man air to become. That's what made him a living being. So you could even go from step to step and say, okay, I breathe in to maybe whatever situation, my body, and I breathe out whatever is not of God, whatever does not align. So you can take it a step deeper, right? So if you've done once, you can go again to the second stage, twice and out. Sometimes when people practice this, they might feel a tightening in their chest because they're not used to it. That's fine. Don't go above what you feel you should go. If you feel strain, it means remain on 2. If you feel you can do 3, carry on. But over time, as you practice this, there will be time to do a bit more. So I'm just going to be silent for the next 3 minutes, and let us breathe in and out and keep building our breathing until the minute is over. And I'm going to do the same. If while you're breathing thoughts come into your mind, that's okay. Be gentle with yourself. You can just tell the thoughts, it's okay. After these 5 minutes, I'm going to think about you, and just carry on. Great, 5 minutes is gone. It's gone really quick. How was that for you? Before I continue, let me just see what's happening before we go to the next one. You could share how many you were able to do. If it was you ended at 2 or 3 or whatever you feel like sharing. I'm still waiting for replies. I hope you're not hypnotized. 3 to 5 and peaceful. Great. Okay. I'll leave that, and I'll read the chats later. Well, thank you for your comments. Okay. So now this might seem basic and seem really basic. However, this is one of the most important things you can do if you're someone who's prone to anxiety, overthinking, or you're just someone who worries a lot. You could even be in a bad relationship, you've had really big loss or whatever. Instead of going in and starting to think of solution, you can just sit down and give it to God and just breathe in and out. Breathe in and out, and you'll be amazed when you come out of it how peaceful, because in that place of calm, God can really reach you, because you've put your place in that place of stillness to know that yes, He is God. Okay, before I sound like a preacher, I'm going to go to the next one, which is silence. Now this one is quite tricky. Those who joined us late, I was talking about how you could be an introvert and silent on the outside, and people see you and they're like, oh, she's so quiet, but you're not quiet, because some people who you've had arguments with them over and over in your head. You've probably punched a lot of people in your mind. You're not a quiet person in your mind, and you might not be particularly peaceful. So on the exterior, so it's got nothing to do with personality or anything like that. Silence is a state of being. Is the gift you give to yourself so that you can listen. Silence I'm talking about is not about emptying your mind. It's about opening your ears, your inner ears, to hear everything, and that includes what's going on around you. We do this also when we do something like visualization tomorrow. It's about hearing. So when you think about looking, you can look at your room. There was a time I did this with a client, and she's like, oh, I hate my house, because for the first time she sat down and she observed her house. She listened to what was happening around her. She was like, no, I'm changing everything, and she did a proper makeover. Right, so today we're not doing that. We're listening to what's going on inside of us. So we're going to do the body check-in first. So still with the technique you've learned about breathing, you're just going to breathe in and out and think about your body. So I'm going to start from the head. Right, I'm going to guide you through it, so don't try not to move ahead of me. If you think about your head, just focus on your head right now, your eyes, everything around your head, your ears. Are you getting any feeling? If you're not, that's fine. If you feel heavy, you can bring it down to your shoulders. And at this point, for some of you, you might feel like, oh, I feel really tense. Maybe I need to just calm myself, relax my shoulder and calm down. Right? You might even feel some form of ache. Whatever you're noticing, just listen to it. Listen to it. This silence is about listening. And make sure you're breathing as well. And then coming down to your chest area, just notice what's going on. That's all you need to do. And if distracting thoughts come in, like the laundry or something you haven't done, that phone call you need to make, that's fine. This is only 5 minutes. You can go back to it later. And when you go down to your stomach, what can you feel? What can you hear? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel okay? Does it feel heavy? You could even write down what you're feeling, and it's something you can explore later, like, oh, why did I feel so tight when I got to my stomach area? You know? And then we move down to our legs. Down to the lower legs. Typically that could feel heavy or light. You're not doing anything about what you're noticing, you're just noticing them. You're just being mindful, taking a step back, like feel like outside of yourself and checking what is going on with me. And even for some people, you could add this to your checking your breast routine. I'm hoping that we're all women here, everyone checks their breasts every once in a while. You know, this can be part of your routine, like checking, you know, the physical touch, like is there any lumps and am I feeling different? But just checking in. A lot of mothers forget to check in on themselves, and we do that a lot for our kids. Okay, so we're going to take this a step deeper because we've got about 5 minutes left. And the next step is to be silent. In other words, to listen. And when we're doing this, we're going to start 21-25, and I'll just be quiet. The only thing I'll tell you is if thoughts come into your mind, write them down. Do not explore them. If it keeps raging, just speak to yourself. I will come back to this later. And then go back to silence. So it's 21-25. We're going to start now for the next 4 minutes and just practice silence. Don't forget to breathe. Okay, that was about 4 minutes. Sorry to interrupt you. If you're getting into it, you can continue when we finish. But like I was saying in the beginning, the 3 pillars of wellness is rest, exercise, and what's the third one? If someone was listening, let me see if you remember. Rest, exercise, and there's another one. And food. Rest, exercise, and food. And today we focus on the mind, doing some exercise with silence and breathing, and is also a form of rest, especially the silence, exactly the food. So I just want to leave us with our thoughts and try and practice silence and try and practice your breathing. Whatever the negative situation might be, I know that a lot of people here are people who probably a Christian who pray. These are some of the things, also tools that God has given you that might not be mainstream, that would really help you calm yourself and calm your mind, because you're not only a spirit, you're a body and you have a mind, and there are tools to help you, and that's what I hope I've given you today. And if you already knew about this, that's even great, and it's something, a reminder, and something you can be intentional about. The beautiful thing about silence, like we said about the bathroom, is that's where insight comes. If you struggle to be an intuitive person, in silence your intuition will start being built, because you're learning to listen. Because the divine is always speaking, we just don't hear. We just don't hear it because we're too busy not listening. And we listen through silence. Great. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's difficult to focus. That's one of the struggles. That's why I said when the thoughts come in, when things like that happen, just be gentle, just note it down. Especially for people like creatives, I know myself, like I am, what do you call it, my brain, I'm constantly inspired, I'm constantly having solution to every problem. And I know a lot of you here can relate to it. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to end the live video because I want to keep that 30 minutes and be respectful of everyone's time, so that tomorrow you come back again knowing it's just half an hour max. Okay, thank you all so much. Please send your questions in, or I want to know maybe how you felt, if you found some things challenging. I can't obviously support you through this like thoroughly, so I'd like to do that more when we chat about it later on the group. Thank you so much and have a good night's sleep. Thank you.